The last thing I wanted to talk about was minimum pricing. I had a client reach out, a new client. We're actually running ads on both Google and Facebook for them. And they had a really good question. We got leads from both channels almost instantly. But on the Facebook side of things with his Meta ads account, some of the leads, you deal with a lot of price shoppers, sometimes some tire kickers, people who are not that serious. They want to know what your minimum pricing is. Could you do it for less? Do you have any discounts? I don't know if it's just Facebook's targeting or the type of people who tend to respond to ads on Facebook. We try to write our ads in a way that we don't get those people responding. We try to qualify people a little bit better with our Facebook ads, but you still get some people who seep through. And in this case, I wanted to share it because I think there was a learning that you guys could potentially benefit from. So let me give you the situation. We're running ads for this guy on Facebook, $150 for 3 rooms. We're running the same thing over on Google. Now, the problem is his minimum pricing, minimum for a job, is also $150. And some of you could probably already guess what's happening. He's getting people who reach out about his 3-room special and they say, but hold on, I don't have 3 rooms. I actually only have 2 rooms, or I just have 1 room. It's really just a staircase. It's just one area. It's not that big of an area. So what's your minimum? And his response, of course, is my minimum is $150. And he has, of course, all the reason in the world for why it should be $150 minimum. If it's worth setting up his machine and getting everything going, he can do 3 rooms. It takes about the same amount of time. You might as well get the 3 rooms for the $150. So he's trying to do right by his customers, providing a lot of value with this pricing. The problem is it's creating a situation where his customers feel disincentivized to reach out with smaller jobs. They feel like they're being taken advantage of on a smaller job simply because of the way his pricing is set up. And it's not the way he's intending for his customers to feel. He's not wanting to drive people away with his pricing. He's wanting customers to call him and say, okay, no problem. That's your minimum. Great, let's do it. So here's what I recommended to him. Here's how I told him to fix it. Really easy fix. I recommended he raise his 3-room pricing to 3 rooms for $180. And he can keep his minimum at $150. And the reason for that is when customers respond to 3 rooms for $180, and we did all the research, $180 for 3 rooms in his area, still a cutthroat rate. I honestly think he could charge more. At some point, I think he could get upwards of $225 for 3 rooms. I think he'd get a lot more, honestly. We're talking what I think he should be getting at a minimum for his pricing. His advertised price could probably be 3 rooms for $225, but we're gonna go with 3 rooms for $180. The beauty of that is by just raising the price from $50 a room to $60 a room, from $150 for 3 rooms to $180 for 3 rooms. Now when customers call and they say, you know, I don't actually have 3 rooms. I only have 2 rooms. I only have 1 room in a hall. He can say, no problem. I actually have a minimum price of $150. I could come out, I could do that room and that hallway for $150. Maybe I could even throw in a staircase if you have one. That would all fall under my minimum pricing. It gives him a little bit of flexibility to downsell people to a lower price point. But when your 3-room price is also your minimum price, there's no room in your price to move downward for customers who have a smaller job. And the reality is a lot of customers, they have a smaller job. You may be thinking to yourself, I don't want those smaller jobs. I don't want to work in apartments that only have 2 rooms of carpet. And that's a valid concern. Maybe you really, truly don't want those customers. But if you'd be willing to take them because you know that there are quality apartment complexes in your area where people are moving in and out, and you can get a lot of volume work and you can get referred around the building, or maybe you could even get in and do the hallways and the common areas in those apartments. There's a lot more work to be had there. If you're willing to do that, then you could make your pricing more friendly for people who have those 2-room jobs, those 1-room jobs, by just putting some separation between your minimum price and your 3-room price. So for him, I recommended keep your minimum at $150, raise your 3-room price to at least $180. That way you have a way to downsell to your minimum pricing and everything should be good. So I think that's going to fix his problem. If you have suggestions for other ways to fix that problem, would love to hear about it. But I wanted to share that with you because I think a lot of people, the problems they have with their pricing and some of the awkward conversations that they have on the phone with customers, they're easily fixed if you sit and think about the logic of your pricing and how your different prices nest together, how your 1-room, 2-room, 3-room, your minimum pricing, all that stuff really fits together. Put it all on paper. If you haven't written your pricing out on paper yet, you haven't gone through the exercise of making a price sheet for your business, I highly recommend you do it because it'll force you to confront whether your pricing makes sense or not. And if you can't put it on paper and you're struggling to write your prices on a piece of paper and make sense of it, your customers are struggling to make sense of it too. So I would just do that as an exercise. Go ahead and write your prices out. And then you'll figure out which parts are working, which parts are not working when you're on the phone with customers. When you have awkward conversations, don't blame the customer, don't blame yourself. Just stop and think about the situation logically and figure out, could you adjust your pricing in some way so that everybody can win? And preferably in a way that will help you get a higher average ticket for your business as well.